The anime begins with a man named Ohma Tokita picking a fight with a guy called Komada who looks like he uses steroids as seasoning in his food. Ohma defeats him with ease, and as he's leaving, he walks past Kazuo Yamashita, who witnessed the whole fight by accident. Ohma asks what his name is and if he wants to fight, but Yamashita declines, shaking like an idiot. We find out that Yamashita is 56 years old and has been aggressively avoided by women for 15 years because he stinks, but after witnessing the fight, he felt excitement he hadn't felt in years and paid to be with a woman. Soon enough, he was back to being a beta male until a man entered the room and said that Chairman Nogi, the company's owner, requested to talk with Yamashita. Yamashita meets Chairman Nogi. Nogi starts talking about conflict resolution and how business is really carried out in the world of businessmen. He says the business deals are all a lie and they are carried out by fights. Businesses all over the world have their own fighters, and whoever wins gets to steal a deal from the other company or force them to do whatever they want. He says they recently hired a new fighter called Ohma Tokita, who enters the room, and Nogi assigns Yamashita as Ohma's caretaker. Later, we learn about Yamashita's broken, depressing life. His wife left him decades ago for a taller guy, and his youngest son only comes home to ask for money, while his oldest hasn't left his room in 3 years. Hours later, Yamashita arrives at Ohma's house, but finds him covered in blood, which scares him. However, Ohma tells him it's not his but an animal he killed earlier. As he eats, his house gets intruded by 2 men. One of them is a famous kickboxer named Ivan who attacks Ohma, hoping to take his spot like Ohma did to Komada, but loses to a single kick in the nuts. The other hooded man reveals his name is Lehido, and he will be Ohma Tokita's first opponent in the Kengan Matches. Days pass, and the fight day arrives, followed by an exchange of insults between Chairman Nogi and President Yoshitake, while Kid informs Yamashita that the winning company gets 100 billion yen in construction rights. Before they battle, there are dozens of Kengan Association members placing bets. The fight begins, and Ohma opens up with a punch, but Lehido reduces the damage by moving forward into it. They both endure a fierce exchange of kicks and punches, and Ohma gets the upper hand until Lehido slashes Ohma's skin with just his fingers, and Lehido reveals that he has superhuman-level grip strength and has been able to climb mountains with just his fingers and crush apples with one hand. Ohma starts to lose a lot of blood as a result of multiple slashes, but when Lehido tries to end it, Ohma stops the momentum of the strike by meeting his hands halfway, which throws Lehido off balance, making it easy to pummel him and win the match. He's declared victor, but the Kengan Association members don't understand how Ohma won, except for a small minority. Nogi quickly sets up Ohma's next fight with a pro wrestler who's on a 57-win streak in the Kengan Matches and says this will be Ohma's last task for him. The next day, it's time for Ohma's second match against a man called Jun Sekibayashi. Ohma opens the match with a flurry of punches, but Sekibayashi is unhurt and counters with an arm whip and then boots him towards a nearby car. Sekibayashi expresses his pride in pro wrestling and says pro wrestlers have a duty to take every attack while other fighters run away from the pain. Ohma walks up and pinches him, but Sekibayashi slaps his hand away. Ohma mocks Sekibayashi, saying that he didn't fulfill his duty, which makes Sekibayashi lose patience. However, he's unable to hit him due to Ohma's skill to make his opponents lose balance. Ohma starts to gain momentum, pushing him back with attacks, but Sekibayashi is unhurt and just playing along to make the match interesting. He slams Ohma against the concrete multiple times, making him start to lose consciousness. A drunk spectator starts mocking Ohma, which makes Yamashita grab his shirt and yell at him, saying that Ohma would never lose in a place like this. Before Ohma lost consciousness, he appeared to blow out some candles in a dark room, saying he needed to use life advance. Ohma's body starts tweaking out, and he ends up breaking out of Sekibayashi's hold, also snapping his fingers. Ohma's appearance becomes more demonic.
What I did was I took out a small loan,
pushing Sekibayashi back with punches twice the speed. We see 2 Kengan Association fighters, Wakatsuki and Kazuma Ime, watching the fight. They discuss Ohma's mysterious burst of power, and Wakatsuki explains that Ohma is speeding up his heartbeat, meaning more blood and oxygen are flowing through his body, increasing speed. Despite Ohma's new strength, Sekibayashi lands a heavy kick and rushes in to end it. However, Ohma strikes Sekibayashi's windpipe, using his opponent's momentum to make the attack even more effective, which knocks Sekibayashi out and wins him the match. A drunk spectator apologizes to Yamashita and offers to take him out for drinks later. Suddenly, the atmosphere changes as the president of the Kengan Association, Metsudo Katahara, appears and congratulates Nogi on finding a strong fighter. Sekibayashi gets up as if nothing happened and agrees. His employer, Gandai, steps forward, admits defeat, and says he approves of the Nogi group's proposal to hold a Kengan Association presidential promotion tournament. Katahara explains that 50 Kengan Association members must approve a proposal for the tournament to proceed, which Nogi had just achieved.
I declare the commencement of the Kengan Annihilation Tournament!
adding that whichever group wins will decide the next president of the Kengan Association. He also announces that he will be entering the Fang of Matsudo as his fighter, who holds an undefeated record of 157 wins and 0 losses. Later, Ohma is seen grabbing Chairman Noji by the collar, angry that Noji said he will not be entering him in the tournament. A man named Sen Hatsumi enters the room, and Noji reveals that Hatsumi will represent the Noji group. Hatsumi forces Ohma to let go, and they begin to spar. Kaede mentions that Hatsumi's match record is 39 wins and 15 losses, with Hatsumi admitting that many of his losses were due to missing matches. Ohma grows frustrated and uses Life Advance. Hatsumi tries to attack, but Ohma redirects the flow of power using the Nico style. Hatsumi is surprised, believing the Nico style had not been passed down. Ohma grabs him by the neck and warns him not to mention Nico again. Before the situation escalates, Noji clarifies that Ohma can still join the tournament. There are 5 spots left and only Kengan Association members can enter. Some members hold unofficial matches, offering their membership to the winner. The entry fee is 100 million yen, but Noji offers to lend the money. Yamashita tries to decline, but Ohma insists. They establish the Yamashita cooperation and agree to the match in 2 days. Ohma wins the match with a single punch. Meanwhile, Yamashita's reclusive son watches the match in secret. He appears to be running a Kengan-related operation from the shadows and plans to enter a fighter in the tournament. Later, Yamashita has drinks with his friend Ken, who tells him that the real entry fee is actually 5 billion yen, something Noji hadn't told him. Ken also introduces a man named Ryo Himuro, who will represent his company in the tournament. That evening, Ohma is training alone when a strange man named Setsuna Kiryu approaches him. Setsuna reveals that the man Ohma has been searching for. Setsuna's master had already been killed by him, and he begs Ohma to fight him next for absolutely no reason. However, Ohma states that his true goal is to prove himself as the strongest. Setsuna becomes fixated on this idea and leaves, visibly affected by the encounter. Before departing, Yamashita's boss expresses jealousy over his time off. Later, Yamashita informs his son Kenzo that he's leaving on a business trip. Upon arriving at the dock, they learn that those who receive an official invitation from the Kengan Association travel on a more luxurious boat, unlike the rest. After boarding, the fighters are separated from their sponsors. Ohma asks for water, so Kaede leaves to fetch it, but the door locks behind her. The captain announces that only the last 5 standing in an upcoming battle royale will earn a spot in the tournament. Panicked, Kaede urges Ohma to protect her. As the fight begins, Ohma teams up with Lihido, who vows to protect Kaede. They fend off other competitors until a fighter named Jerry knocks out several people with surprising speed. He targets Ohma next but misses repeatedly. It's revealed that Jerry previously trained in Kung Fu but eventually shifted styles, adopting unique techniques inspired by weapons. He uses an attack called Scud Missile, which Ohma deflects using the Nico style. Jerry's momentum sends him toward Kaede, but Ohma stops him with the Nico style's indestructible technique, knocking Jerry out. With that, the battle ends and the 5 remaining fighters are chosen. They proceed to meet President Katahara. Setsuna watches them from afar, clearly intrigued. As Katahara speaks, a man named Hazard interrupts, questioning the fairness of the battle. He gets too close, so a guard stops him. He attacks the guard, but turns out the guard is an absolute unit of a man and boots Hazard into the ocean. Yamashita is now an official Kengan member, meaning he was invited to the luxury cruise. He's in awe because a peasant like him has never seen anything luxurious in his life. As businesses gather around discussing strategies for the tournament, Lihido appears and tells that he registered as a president/fighter, all thanks to Noji, whom he now owes 3 billion yen for this. Just then, Katahara arrives and declares that there will be no fighting amongst the fighters on the cruise until the battles. This seemed like a normal announcement to most, but to the non-fighters who snuck onto the ship to cause chaos on the cruise, they all want to start a fight with registered fighters so they could replace them, and a lot of fighters get defeated by these freaky-looking people. The cruise arrives at the island where the tournament will take place, but before any of the matches start, they draw a lottery so each company can choose where and when they want to fight. All they have to do is draw a high number to pick first, with the lowest number picking last. Yamashita, for the first time in his life, gets lucky and tolls a high number, and he picks a position far away from the chairman's fighter, so if possible, they only meet in the final round. Later, Keeg scolds Ohma and Lihido for raising up too many women until a teenage girl attacks Ohma. He almost kills her, but Ohma holds himself back when he realizes it's a girl. The girl grabs onto him and begs him to make babies with her, but Ohma runs away because he's never been that close to a girl before and doesn't know how to talk to women. We find out that the girl is from a famous mercenary group called the Kira family, and when she returns home and informs her grandfather of her crush. He gets mad because he wants her to himself and says he wants Ohma dead. The next day, Yamashita arrives at the tournament expecting a small arena, but instead he sees a huge stadium with thousands of people, with even world leaders like Obama watching the matches. This is all for this anime at the moment. If you would like to see a part 2, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good